Ristas, Krivase, Azantes, welcome video lovers, welcome to Tac Nerd 1.0. Adventures, we have a bit of bench talk here for us today, looking over my collection and noticed one of my favorite rifles, the M1 Carbine, and I thought we would speak a little bit about this rifle and why this is such a useful rifle, and in many ways why I believe it missed its mark, sort of, in the firearms world, and some of the advantages it had, and it still has to this day. So let's first talk about this rifle in particular. This is, again, my M1 Carbine, and this is not a genuine article, meaning this is not military surplus. This is actually a reproduction. This is by Auto Ordnance, and there have been other reproductions of these rifles in the past, most of them being not so great. Now, I know Auto Ordnance does have something of a on and off reputation, but I can tell you, at least this rifle in particular, I have had this rifle for many years now, and it has always treated me well. It's accurate, reliable, easy to shoot. I've really never had any issue with this rifle at all. So at least my experience with Auto Ordnance has been great. Now you might be thinking, now this doesn't look like some of the Auto Ordnance rifles that I've seen before, and yes, you would be correct. I actually replaced this stock some time ago with this one. I found this new old stock in eBay, I think it was maybe, and it was a fairly good price. It was unfinished, and I always sort of wanted an M1 in that color. The one that I have, the stock that came with it, which is very nice, by the way, and it's part of the reasons I replaced it. It's rather dark, and it is very nice. It's a beautiful stock. I kind of don't want anything to happen to it, and that's one of the reasons why I replaced it and put this one on it. Now, this one did not come with a upper handguard, so I ended up putting this cheese grater handguard on it. I know collectors will probably hate that, but this isn't really a collector's item. This is a repop. So really, I can make this however I want. And believe it or not, I use this as kind of a just take it to the range almost every time I go type rifle. As I said, it's very easy to shoot. It's accurate. I don't have any optics on it. I use it just with irons. Ventures. So let's speak some of the reasons why I believe this is almost the perfect carbine, and why I think this rifle, in a different sense, in a different universe possibly, this could have been the AR-15. And in many ways, this rifle really was the AR-15 of its time. Post-war, there were so many of these rifles made. They were sold on the civilian market. Many people coming back from the war purchased them as sort of just a handy ranch rifle, or for self-protection, or for hunting. It fills many roles, and it continued to fill that role as sort of the everyman's rifle for many, many years, until, yes, it was eventually taken over by the AR. But I think this rifle still has life left in it in that role. Believe it or not, in some ways, I do think it does better than the AR in that role. And yes, I know some of you are rolling in horror right now, trying to find your way to the comments section so you can tap out some angry words to me. But just listen. Let me go over a few things about this rifle and why I like this rifle and why I think it is still relevant, and why I think it is the king of carbines. So first off, the weight and maneuverability. This rifle is really only about 5 or so pounds, and that is generally even more lightweight, again, than the AR. The average AR with not too much on it is going to be about 7 pounds. Now, that's only about a 2-pound difference, but, you know, differences can make a difference when you're making long treks. But weighing in at about 5 pounds, the M1 Carbine is significantly lighter than many other rifles. Makes it easy to carry, makes it easy to maneuver. Now, this is particularly beneficial for individuals who just need a lightweight, handy firearm. And really, that I think that fits the bill of a sort of a ranch rifle. Now, you don't have to have a ranch to have a ranch rifle. It can be just the home rifle that you would use for either home protection or for critter protection, something like that. And I think this rifle fills that role quite well because of its lightweight and its maneuverability. Because this rifle is so small and so light, you really can get this moving around really quick. Now we're at the bench here, so I can't really swing this around too much. But if you ever pick one up and you're ever in a store, you'll see just how lightweight these rifles really are. It is a firearm of wood and steel. Typically, those are very heavy, but this one isn't. Now, I even have a couple more magazines on the back of this that adds a little weight. But really, without that, it really is a very handy firearm. And I generally like to keep these 15 round mags in it. I think those are the perfect size for what you need. They do make 30 round mags. We're not showing one here, A, because of YouTube, and B, because I really honestly think the 15 round magazine fares very well with this. Reason number 2 that I think this weapon is the king of carbines. I think its mild recoil and its ease of use. This contributes to the fact that I think one of the big overarching advantages of this firearm is that really anyone can use it. It has very mild recoil. Anyone can use it. Any person of small frame can use this rifle. Man, woman, elf, sprite, dwarf, whatever. Just about anyone can use this rifle because of its low recoil and because it really is very easy to use. You really just bring the bolt back, the rifle's ready to go. Now, there is or was some confusion at the time with the safety and bolt release. Apparently, that is why they made a flipper safety on it at one point. Really, though, if you train and you understand what you're doing, I think you're fine with that. I would say this is an excellent firearm as a step up from something like a 1022 as a rifle to give a newer shooter. You're still teaching them iron sights, so you're still teaching those basic skills that they need, but not enough that it's going to scare them. And again, small enough to handle for anyone. The third reason why I think this is really the king of carbines piggybacks a little bit on some of our other topics, but it really is the ammo that it uses, the cartridge that it uses, and that is the 30 carbine. If you look at this, you'll see looks like a pistol caliber. And so a lot of people refer to this as a pistol caliber. It really isn't. It is a rifle caliber, and it was designed as a rifle caliber, but it looks like a pistol caliber. In fact, many people will refer to this as a pistol caliber carbine. It's really not. It isn't. But this is a straight-walled cartridge. It is 30 caliber, so it has enough oomph to do something. It has roughly equivalent power to the 357 Magnum. Now, it's not exactly, and I know the 357 is still going to go far and above, and certainly if you have plus Ps, it is going to have more power. But it's roughly equivalent to that, and I think that level of power is suitable for most situations that you would find yourself. Again, as like a ranch or a home protection rifle, you have some kind of critters or something that come upon you, generally you're going to be good with this. And the fact that it is semi-auto means that you do have more rounds to back you up should you need to. Number 4 is maybe not an advantage for everyone, certainly is for myself, but again, it kind of centers on the cartridge that powers this system. And it is because the 30 carbine is a straight welled cartridge, it is very, very easy to reload. Straight weld cartridges are very easy to reload. In fact, they're usually one of the first cartridges that you start on when you start learning how to reload. Most people start with something like the 38, but which this shares much commonality with. Now, there is one disadvantage in that because of this rifle's age, because of this cartridge's age, and its, frankly, lack of popularity in recent years, reloading components can be a little hard to find for this. And when you do find them, sometimes they are a little pricey. But if you look well enough, you still can find options out there. I would concentrate on things like gun shows or auctions. I've been able to find not only reloading components for these, but also magazines for them as well. These are things that you find tucked away in the back of an old FFL shop that maybe time has forgotten. These can be, if you look hard enough, they can be found. Now, if you have to order them, if you have to order them new, yes, it might be a little pricey to get set up. But once you are, it's really no different than reloading any other ammunition. But again, because of the simplicity of reloading a straight weld cartridge, they are not only easy but pleasant to reload. And they don't take a lot of powder either. The powder that you use to reload the .30 carbine is also typically not hard to find. Powders such as H110 are pretty easily found in most FFLs or reloading shops or such like that. It's many times used for 410 shot shells. It has a wide range of uses. That's going to bring us to number 5. This is our last reason why I believe this is the king of carbines. And that is because of its history and because so many of these rifles were made. Part availability is quite high. Even in this age, even in 2024, when this rifle really has kind of seen its popularity wane, you still can find parts for this nearly all over. Magazines are generally easy to find. Parts can be found, even some parts even on eBay. And again, just about any FFL or parts store that you're going to find, an old pawn shop maybe near you, it's very likely that they may have either an M1 or parts for an M1 carbine. Some of the bigger manufacturers out there on the internet, I won't name names, YouTube, don't worry, but you can easily find parts for this if you should need to fix or replace something. And they're really not hard to work on. It's a fairly simple mechanism, and it's fairly easy to work on these rifles. There really isn't that much to them. Folks, I think for all of those reasons, I think this is the king of carbines. Now, folks, those are my thoughts on the M1 carbine. I hope you agree. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just hate the cheese grater and you want to complain about that. But whatever you do feel, please, by all means, leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'd really like to get a discussion going of what everyone thinks and how everyone feels. I really do think in some sort of alternate universe, this could be, the everyman rifle still to this day. So folks, that's about it. That's all I have for you. Thank you for listening today to my thoughts and musings. If you would do me this favor, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Share this with your buddies. Share this with your friends all over the interwebs. That really does help the video a lot. And I thank you for your patronage and for watching this to the end. Please don't forget to fire off around at that bell notification. And folks, you have been listening to Tack Nerd and Adventures. I'm out of here.